Hi, I'm Joel Worthington, President of Mr. Electric. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk to you about a topic that I was recently heard at a conference I was at on being, doing, and having. And basically it says that a lot of times we put our having first, but really it's our being that comes first, and then our doing flows from that, and then what we have flows from both of those two things. I've asked the question several times, what's more important, who we are or what we do? Well, they're both very intricately intertwined. Our doing flows from our being. You may have watched a movie that came out recently called Lone Survivor, the Marcus Luttrell story, or read the book. What an awesome book. What a fascinating book. What a story of sacrifice. This is a story of our Navy SEALs who gave their last breath in Afghanistan to fight for our freedom. Now, why were they able to do what they did? Well, I believe that the reason that they were able to do what they did was because of who they were, their being. You say, well, they were Navy SEALs. They went to Navy SEAL training. Well, let me explain a little bit about what he explained in the book about Navy SEAL training is that early on in the process, there's a thing they call Hell Week. And so you have to go through Navy Hell Week or SEAL Hell Week first before you really get into any of the extensive training. So I would say this, you first have to prove you're a SEAL before you get to do SEAL training. You see, they are all thrown into this Hell Week and into this climate of testing and proving, into the fire, if you will, as we do with metals. We heat up metals, and when we heat them up, then the impurities, they flow from the top, and the impurities are then siphoned off, and only the pure metal remains. And that's what happens at SEAL school. The guys all come. There's lots of guys who want to come to SEAL school, and they go through some original training, and then early on Hell Week, and I believe that's the same thing. The ones that are real SEALs actually then come through. And because there's no fakers that make it through. There's no cowards that show up for SEAL training and then go through as undercover cowards to see what being a SEAL. No, it doesn't work that way. You're either a SEAL or you're not. And when you're a SEAL, then you get to train, and then you go onto the battlefield to fight for your last breath because you are a Navy SEAL, because that's what you're made of. It's because of who you are, and now you perform. Your doing is based on who you are. So I got a question for you. Who are you? Well, what you're doing probably tells something about who you are. But let me ask you a question. Are you a person that's honest, a person of integrity, a person of courage, a person that is looking forward to courage, a person that's willing to be brutally honest with themselves and willing to change and make a better future? If so, that's great. Continue on in that way. But the first thing you've got to do is ask yourself, am I willing to be honest with myself? Because if you're a person who lies to yourself, who's not willing to fess up to who you really are, you're never going to be able to make the steps to doing what you really want to do and to having what you really want to have. Who are you?